All right, we're here. It's week one, Modern Horizons 3 League. We had a bit of a delay getting our match started, but we are here now, and we have a pretty interesting one to start off here. Two fairly recent players to our server, Ryan M, who just won the Zombie League and will be in the Player of the Year for this year, and Dirk. Jack is going to be with me this week. We'll have a few different commentators throughout the league. What has Dirk got in his hand here?
Yeah, so he's working with this landscape he just played. He's got two forests as far as lands go. Um, and then his non-land cards, he's got the Nightshade Dryad, the Unfathomable Truce, which is the draw three, make a spawn. He's got that Storm card that makes all of your opponent's creatures into the 1/1 frogs,
Okay.
and then the big star of his hand is a 6.
Ooh, okay. So decent little hand here. We do have an okay hand here for Ryan. One uncastable due to colors. So he has Petrifying Meddler, blue card. But the rest of his hand is an Eldrazi Repurposer, which will probably get played next turn. Nyxborn Hydra, Molten Gatekeeper, Glimpse the Impossible, Forest, Mountain, and now he's drawn an Unfathomable Truth as well, but can't cast it. So yeah, Modern Horizons. How are you enjoying this this format so far?
I like it a lot. As we've talked about, my deck is currently non-functional, but I'm having a good time. It's a tough format to figure out, but it's a good time all
It's
around.
in repair. That's all.
Yeah, we're working on it for sure. It's in the shop.
Yeah, obviously the power level of a lot of these cards is absolutely through the roof, but I find it's a lot of the cards are dependent on you having other things, so synergy based power. So in League, things could be a little more wonky than in drafts, where you can get these really focused decks, especially week one. Um, haven't seen too many decks just go off with synergy or just raw power, except for my one opponent that I've played so far. But for the most part, we're just kind of seeing people just play their cards, and I haven't seen too much crazy synergy just yet. All right, White of the Reliquary is a nice one here, especially in conjunction with the six that can mill things.
Yep, and he's holding up this fetch land, and he's drawn a Brain Surge, so I'm
Okay.
thinking we're gonna see fun and stuff.
All right, so some Sultai action over there, and Teamer over here, just no blue yet.
Notably, Dirk's also drawn a Breaker of Creation, but currently doesn't have two colorless
Yeah,
to
there's
cast it.
one colorless available. Yeah, like this, like if he had his blue, this would be a nice turn for Ryan to just lay down a Petrifying Meddler, possibly, um, to get some board presence. But he's thinking between Glimpse, the Impossible, the Molten Gatekeeper, and the Nyxborn Hydra. Glimpse the Impossible doesn't really do too much here. He doesn't need the colorless mana right now. He needs more blue than anything. Giving six a read. Yeah, so that one lets you cast non-land permanents out of your graveyard by discarding lands when it's your turn.
Yeah,
Pretty nice. I mean,
it's definitely a card that can take over an early game if Ryan can't get some board presence down or find an answer to it.
look, Dirk has played three rares so far, so he's doing okay here. All right, so here comes sort of
Well,
the least interesting of all of his cards here, just the Molten Gatekeeper, just a 2/3 to hold down the fort, hopefully.
I'd be worried too. Dirk still got an attack with 6 because, like mentioned, he's got that storm enchantment that can turn creatures into 1/1s.
Yeah, and it loses
So
they lose abilities, right?
so there's definitely potential to blow out a double block here.
He might,
Looks like he might be thinking of casting it on the
yeah,
insta.
he could do it now. So again, Storm counts all players, spells cast by all players. Like they would never design any mechanic like this today. Obviously, we see cards with Storm once in a blue moon because it's very problematic on a lot of cards that it's been printed on. But we see it here used now and then very sparingly. But yeah,
Yeah,
he's just going to apply the pressure here. He says my opponent's not doing too much. I got powerful cards here. I can cast one of them out of my graveyard now. So
yeah.
things are moving along here.
It
And
looks like we might be seeing a colossal dread mass come down this turn too.
yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, so Dirk's doing pretty well here. 3-1 to start the league. Ryan's at 2-2, so this is their last match of the week for both of them. Dirk obviously looking to end the week on a fantastic note. Ryan just to stay above 500 here.
Okay. No Dread Mask.
I guess he's going to
He's
draw three.
probably, yeah, looking to fire off the unfathomable truths.
Does he have other lands in his hand to discard to the retrace, or not really?
Currently, no more lands, but with the way six has been going, probably won't have too much of a problem with
Okay.
that.
Yeah, this is a pretty bad Glimpse Impossible. He needs the blue now, not next turn. He drew another blue card for turn the Hope Ender Coatl, and he's
Is
a
that an expressive iteration he's got over there?
yep expressive iteration, but it's going to the graveyard.
I always like to see those special guest cards, unless it's Solitude.
What about Fury? I played against that in the draft today.
Yeah, Fury's pretty bad too. I had an opponent in my pre-release that put a Spring Card and Antiqua on their Fury.
Well, that'll do it. Yeah, I could see that being problematic. All right, so yeah, just Ryan not really able to do much with his turns here, unfortunately. Well, Dirk is. I mean, he opted not to affect the board last turn and just to draw cards, which I mean I'd be interested in just like casting the unfathomable truths as like one of the last cards in my hand once I played all my stuff. But he's more cards is more options. So let's see
It
how he goes with this turn.
it does it does mean he can throw down his Breaker of Creation due to that extra land from the white, if that's something he wants to do.
Oh, I thought it brings in lands tap. No.
Yeah, but he sacked the spawn from the draw three spell on instep to go get a land.
Okay, got it.
So he's got seven plus the Dryad now.
All right. I mean that'll be pretty hard. I mean Ryan will be able to tap it for a turn with the petrifying meddler, I suppose, but it's still not looking too hopeful. Yeah, this card. We were just talking about this as well. I've cast it for the first time today in a draft and gained 15 life and said, "What in the world is this card?"
Yeah, it doesn't even look like Dirk's deck is really geared around it. Like we see he's only gained seven life, and that's just a seven lands. But even so, Hexproof from all colors Annihilator 2 is a beating.
Yeah, he will get to at least get a slight reprieve here by tapping it down, but let's see. I can't imagine he's doing anything except that. Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it
you if
has hexproof from each color, which I've never seen that wording before. But as we know, devoid is not a color, so he is
yep.
able to target it here. At least get a little bit of a reprieve for a turn, and maybe be able to build up a board to fight what's going on. But still not looking amazing here. Right, he said
Yeah,
the Dryad gave me
it's
enough. I'm gonna go get a land.
and he's still got access to his entire graveyard too. He's holding two lands, so anything in his graveyard he wants to play, he can.
Yeah, six is fantastic. Like,
Ooh, looks like he's hovering over a copy crook. Saying maybe I want a second Breaker of Creation.
well, he won't get the life gain, but I think his life total is okay right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at a Dirk side of things, and because the way Arena lays out your cards, it looks like he has about 15 cards in his hand. It's just like putting them all up on his menu.
Yeah, I guess on here we it doesn't look like they're all in his hand because six of them are face up and the others are face down.
Yeah.
But Ryan's looking through the
Yeah.
graveyard and I think he's thinking, what can I even do? Like with the cards in his hand, I mean, he has a draw spell, he has a Hydra, he has a Coatl and a land. Like there's like, how can he even make headway into Dirk's life total while not losing his whole board in the next couple turns? It's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah. It's 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 tough to look at that graveyard with you don't right. We don't even see Ryan's not even seeing the cards in his hand. Just looking at those cards in the graveyard looks pretty
I
unrecoverable.
mean, he just milled three removal spells, so Dirk seems to have a very
Yeah.
scary deck, and his 3-1 record does reflect that. Yeah, so Ryan, off an impressive showing in the top eight for the Zombie League, which got him a seat in the Player of the Year, and he did make a deep run too in OTJ in week 6. So you know, relatively new to our server from this year, but has made an impact in a short time here, and Dirk as well has made an impact, especially with his memorable trash talking last league.
Lost me all my money.
Oh no.
Even in even in Ryan's first league, that was he was with me in CrossFit here, and he managed to um, become a con of our Mardu clan.
I seem to remember he had a deep run there too, like very respectable finish.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's been a podcast guest. Now he's in a feature match, so he's doing the media circuit here on the Arena Gauntlet League. All right,
great
so
to see all
look at
the.
this utter significance. You cast it to win combat, and then goes right to the graveyard, castable again. I mean,
Wow,
not
yeah, with six, I didn't even think about that, but you can just
yeah, not that there's anything to cast it on, but like, geez.
yeah.
I don't.
Dirk opting to play the Colossal Dread Mask out of his graveyard rather than the one in his hand, saying, "Well, Ryan knows about this one."
Well, he's Ryan's trying a Ghostfire Slice, which can be cast for 1 mana, but
And notably can kill Breaker of
yeah, it can
Creation.
kill the Breaker of Creation, so he may be able to survive another turn. But with the utter insignificance, I don't think so because he could play a big Hydra here, um, with all but one of the red mana for the Ghostfire, but it just gets exiled.
Right. At some point, Ryan's path into this game has to involve him killing the six, but I don't think you can let Breaker of Creation stick around any longer.
Yeah, the thing about a card like six is that it doesn't seem like it needs to be removed right away, especially if you have like a 3/3 that can just stand in the way. But the thing is, your opponent's just going to start playing things off the six, and you're going to have to kill those, and it's just going to keep going, which is sort of what we're seeing in this game. Like Ryan has to address all the problems that the other cards have brought. Yeah, with the,
Exactly.
I mean, this is kind of just, you know, unless Dirk has no lands in hand, this is kind of just like a win on board here.
He doesn't currently, um,
Okay,
but he can just swing with six and get a land and then flash in the utter insignificance.
yeah, that'll do it. I'm surprised he sacked a 6/6 germ there just for a land.
So am I. Although I think giving the Breaker of Creation like trample was
Yeah,
probably
but
gonna win him the game. And oh, the slice. Yep.
yeah, so he
That
actually has the answer.
okay.
How do you kill
That's
an
a
8
big
drop for
waste of.
1 mana? Well, now we know.
I assume he'll just sack it to his white.
Yeah, so there were
Yeah,
so there were a few more straightforward paths for Dirk here, um, but he decided to go this route of sacking the germ and then trying to get trampled to the breaker. But we're seeing Ryan is going to be able to make it through to another turn.
yeah. I mean, when you play Breaker of Creation, I don't think you ever expect it to get answered for 1 mana.
Yeah, and now the utter insignificance is not even good because he doesn't have the colorless mana to exile the Hydra. But
Well, he's got a Heroic Assault coming through
yeah,
anyway.
that'll do it.
Hydra's not.
Six can attack.
And Ryan's still not in a great position, but he gets to have a couple more turns at least to work with here.
Yeah, I think I think Ryan is out of all the outcomes possible. I think he's okay with not getting attacked by a breaker or a Wet of the Reliquary or a 6/6 trample, all which were in play last turn.
Yeah, exactly.
He's drawn Skoa, the Ember Mage here, but I don't know if that's going to quite do enough. It can kill the six, I suppose. So no longer has access to his whole graveyard.
That's pretty huge
I
actually, because he's got
imagine
a lot of
that's
powerful cards in there.
yeah, I imagine that's the play here. I'd hope under Coatl Unfathomable Truths. Not going to get it done here.
Dirk notably also managed to get through 38 cards in his library already.
Okay.
Very rarely is deck size relevant in these 60 card seal games, but you know,
And
with
so,
how this game is going, come up.
I mean, he still has the trample here, so it's not going
All right, yeah, we're just game over, right?
to.
That's 13 with trample. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just let me show you the Skoa Ember Mage, and we can move on.
We'll finally kill that six, and then you got
Yes, he's like, I have to kill this finally. This thing
it.
has been so good. I can't look at it anymore. But you win. Yeah, so a bit of a almost I would say straight four color deck here for uh, for Ryan. Like not too much fixing actually. Just three landscapes to go along with like his set 8, 6, 7, 8 mana base, which is not exactly where you want to be, but he's got some powerful
Sure,
cards
sure
here.
you love to see that one. Um, yeah, so Dirk's over here looking pretty much straight Sultai. He's got powerful cards. I see a Psychic Frog that we didn't see.
Okay, that's a good one.
Um, he's got a Null Drifter in there. Um, a lot of his powerful rares we saw last game, which makes sense because we saw a lot of his deck.
Yeah, we have a few powerful ones here. Kozilek's Command and Kozilek himself. So both of those. He's
Oh
got
wow.
Nadu, the bird that can go pretty hard when you get it going. And a few big Eldrazzis, as I'm sure everybody has in their pools. But yeah, Kozilek and Kozilek's Command are the headline here. Not too many other rares though. So a lot less rares than I think a lot of other people's decks that you see in week one. But
Tough to be playing Kozilek's Command in a deck that you said only needs four color and has three landscapes. That's asking for trouble.
yeah, and it seems like blue is like his. I will not say splash, but his third color. So he's not even playing stuff like the Sage of the Unknowable, the 2 mana ramp creature,
Yeah,
which I mean I think you would absolutely need if you're playing a 9 drop and a double colorless card. But
exactly. Yeah.
he's gone for green and red at the low end of his curve, but he still has quite a few blue cards. So yeah, I mean he 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 needed the blue a little earlier to not fall behind. He fell a bit too far behind and then got the blue, and then his blue spells weren't even like that impactful. You know, he was able to tap something down for a turn, but not too much else going on.
Yeah. Notably, Dirk opting to cut his Breaker of Creation after we saw it fumble a bit in that game.
Well, I said I
But
don't want it to die for 1 mana. I refuse.
yeah, he it looks like he boarded in a Serum Visionary and a Sage of the Unknowable.
He's not playing my boy in his main deck.
Surprisingly,
We'll have to
no,
we'll
yeah,
have to have a
Sultai
chat.
value playing
We'll
Serum Vision.
have to have a chat about that now.
Yeah,
uh,
I don't know. I don't decision either.
so pretty okay
Interesting.
hand here for Ryan. He's got all his colors, most importantly. Ghostfire Slice, Horrific Assault, Molten Gatekeeper, Glimpse the Impossible, and the Twisted Riddle Keeper, that the 5/5 that can tap things down. What's Dirk got all here?
So he in his hand he's got two more lands which are both swamps. He's holding a Mindless Conscription, asking Brood Scale, which he didn't opt to play, which you're about to see why. This Aether Spike.
All right.
Um, he's got a Horrific Assault himself, and then Colossal Dread Mask on the top
So
end.
pretty astute play by Ryan here. He did draw probably the best thing that he could play on turn 3 in his whole deck, which is Nadu, the Winged Wisdom. And he said, "Let me just play out this first. Let me play out this
Yeah,
first. If
so
he's
he,
got it, if he does have a counter, I get to resolve my bird, and I will, if my opponent targets it, I'll get a creature. And with this horrific
yeah.
assault, he can actually trigger the Nadu, and I don't know what he'll choose to do here. I think he's just going to glimpse because he doesn't have lands. Okay,
Dirk has drawn a second Horrific Assault, but unfortunately doesn't have a second green.
okay,
Oh, and all-time favorite card of mine. He's just top decked a Reform.
okay.
Love that guy.
That's a fun one.
Yeah. So he's saying, okay, I'm gonna swing, see if Ryan wants to block. I'll free roll myself to answer Nadu because kind of have to. Yep. And Ryan's saying, sure. If you want to kill my creature, I'll get a card out of it.
Yeah, he's fine with it. He has a bunch of stuff going on in hand, so all right.
Yeah. It's a rough, but Nadu is a value engine that probably you can't let stick around if you have the option.
Yeah, I mean this card is one of the cards that's apparently been breaking modern already. So
Sure has.
that doesn't always mean it's gonna be a hit in limited, but he is gonna sack
Oh,
his spawns here to invalidate the
yeah,
horrific
that
assault, and he's still
brutal.
yeah, he's still got the trigger too, right?
So now we see a 4-mana 0-1 coming down. Love those stats.
I mean, my dream in my league deck is to sack it to a Flare of Denial. That's my league goals here since I have both. But oh, he could target his own Nadu with the trigger and get another card. But he said,
Oh, look at that.
I better just tap the O1.
He's drawn an Eviscerator's Insight.
Okay, well, that does the
Great
thing.
draw with the Reform.
And
Yeah,
it's going to make a zombie as well.
exactly. Yeah, that's very nice draw from Dirk here.
Okay, so pretty neat here. I've yet to see this enchantment go off, but I mean, you know, the turn after the 2 turns after he played it, it's basically happening,
And
and
he can
and the
trigger
Eviscerators
it.
can do it
He's
again.
got and he's also drawn the Unfathomable Truce, which is another trigger on it.
Okay, yeah, and he could swap his 3/3 for a 6/6. I mean, can't be bad.
Yeah, for facing down a Nadu, it's I've seen worse board states, that's for
I'm
sure.
still waiting for the day when somebody steals and sacks a reform.
That's good.
Haven't quite seen it
I
yet.
always
It's not really steal sack stuff in this set. I mean, there's a couple cards that can
no.
steal, but it's not really a big archetype or anything. But is an amusing
Yeah.
thought. He's reading the Riddle
It's
Keeper, but Riddle Keeper not yet castable.
is it not? It's a merge one, right?
Yeah, but you need colorless to emerge it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But
It's like 5 colorless blue.
instead he'll just play a 6/6 trample here. Not too bad. Still has
Seems reasonable.
still has a horrific assault in hand for when he finds something he wants to kill. And the Twisted Riddle Keeper plus the drone that we saw get drawn. Hmm.
Wow. Bold attack here. So he does have the instant speed draw 3 that can pump his zombie
Yeah.
out,
Well,
but he's just saying, yeah,
Dirk is bold.
throw
We
my
know
re
that.
yeah. That we've seen. So he's saying, okay, I'll kill my fish. I'll get a whale out of it. Um,
I mean, there is like the face up eviscerator insight here. Like it is just known knowledge that he can do this.
yeah, that's right. So he's saying, yep, I will. I'll sack my whale. We'll sack my fish, get my whale. We'll trade 6/6s here.
All right. I mean,
This is really the power of Colossal Dreadmask of being able to make any of your creatures +6/+6.
yeah. Just I mean, look, we know the commons are insanely pushed in this set, and this is it's just so many cards are just so much better than every other version of stuff we've seen like that before. All right, here comes Twisted Riddle Keeper here, which you can just cast for 8 thanks to the little bonus land he got from the Nadu last turn.
Not only that, but choosing to stun a swamp, Dirk's drawn a Breathe Your Last and can't cast it now.
Well, maybe he knew. Maybe he knew.
Ryan seems like an astute player. I'm sure he's done a bit of scouting of pools
Yeah,
and all
so
that good
he can
stuff.
now just equip an Horrific Assault and also just Lethal
Well,
Flyer.
doesn't even need to.
Lethal
Yeah.
Flyer as well. No need to show it. So Colossal Dread Mask 2, opponent 0.
Really been putting in the work this match, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean we've seen it be the well it ended. It was the ender of both games. It wasn't necessarily the reason why the player ended up winning. There were many other things that went into it, but it does finish the game, and we saw that twice. Ryan here
So
deciding what
Dirk,
else he wants.
Dirk after that match saying, yeah, let's not have that happen again. He's taken his Foul Strike out of his sideboard and put that in the deck.
Okay.
Saw a couple too many flyers there for my liking.
Yeah, so really, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, there's seven blue cards in his deck. There's 2 Eldrazi. There's the Drownyard Lurker that requires blue to cycle, and then there's the Riddle Keeper, which requires blue to emerge. So, his third color, but still, still a heavy presence in the deck, obviously.
I think, yeah, looking at Dirk's, it's pretty much split. I couldn't tell you if he had a splash. It looks like he's running, 10, 12 cards of each color and
Yeah,
just
that's
rolling with it.
yeah. Ryan's close to that, I would say. I mean, look, it's week one. You want to play as many powerful cards as you can. You hope your mana works, and when it doesn't, you hope your opponent gets screwed about as often as you might. So,
Yeah.
it's a toss
And
up a lot of the time.
For Dirk being on one loss, I think he's pretty happy with how it's been playing out so far.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, in game one, we just saw his deck like just clicking. Like everything was working together. I mean, six and White of the Reliquary are pretty good friends, I would say.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and the lore too, for sure. For those of you that haven't read it, go check it out.
Oh, is that a fact? Okay.
I just made that up.
All right.
Might be though.
I am not attuned to anything that's going on in the stories.
Yeah, I can't say I am either.
I just like to have functional cards. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And finding weird nicknames for the cards as well.
Yep. So we've got a four-lander here from Dirk. He's got all his colors, and he's holding Tune the Narrative, Brain Surge, and a White of the Reliquary.
I mean, can't get too much better than that.
Yep.
Ryan, a
Unfortunately,
bit of a wonky hand here if he doesn't draw a blue source. Yeah, so he's got an Evolution
unfortunately,
Witness, Eldrazi Ravager, Expressive Iteration, Hopeender Coatl, Siege Gang Commander, and then Forest Mountain and another mountain here. So Evolution Witness for the foreseeable future is the only thing he can cast.
yeah, it seems a bit slow. Um, Dirk, unfortunately, not able to play his Tune the Narrative on turn one due to needing black and a green source for the white.
Yeah, but that's not a
Uh,
that's not an emergency.
no, no, not at all.
Yeah, Ryan's going to be
Uh,
cycling his Eldrazi here.
yeah, makes sense. I mean, it's great too. With you said there's an Evolution Witness, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it goes great with that.
Drawn another Coatl and now a Basking Brute Skill, so at least he has something to put into play next turn. Brain Surge. Have you played much with this card, or I'm curious what people
Yeah,
think about this.
I haven't. I don't have it in League, but
Okay.
I've played it in Limited a lot. It's great with the draw three cards and with having actual fetches and pseudo fetches and
Yeah,
stuff.
I think in a
It
landscape format, it's actually probably
yeah,
fine.
it does a good brainstorm impression, brainstorm fetch. I've liked
Because
it.
I am like a staunch hater of Brainstorm in Limited when you're just casting it without being able to shuffle your deck. Like I just hate it. Like I would just never put it in my deck. I mean, this is obviously better. You are actually netting a card from the whole thing, where Brainstorm you're not.
Exactly.
So and in
So
a landscape format, I think it's actually pretty strong here. All right.
not sure why did Dirk do that before damage. I guess he's saying maybe Ryan doesn't want to block. Maybe I'll take the chance and not have to use my Wither and Bloom. But
I think he was maybe thinking, okay, he's not going to block, and then he's going to adapt it next turn, and then I can hit
yeah,
it.
blow
But
it.
the block forced his hand if he wanted to keep his white, which he did. So here we are. Oh, here's an A plus Kofflerism in play. That's all I'll say about that. But yeah, the Worn Power Stone, very very old card, but has utility in this set though, making double colorless.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll see the draw three from Dirk
Okay.
on end step.
Nice play here, Spawn Gang Commander, and he if he does get to untap with it, he's gonna have a lot of colorless mana.
Does he have anything in hand that he needs the colorless for?
No, he just has blue and green cards. So he's,
Okay.
I mean, he could have.
So, yeah.
I think he could have just kept the green untapped and then played a Nightshade Dryad, sacking one of the spawns here just to get an extra mana source and a blue source. So maybe that was a bit of auto tap or a bit of who knows what.
Oh, we're killing the white.
Okay.
Pretty reasonable. It's a great card, and Ryan correctly identifying that Dirk wanted to sack that spawn to go get a land.
Yeah, there's not going to be a big window to kill that going forward.
Oh yeah.
Especially, well, to deal 2 damage to kill it going forward. But I feel like if I'm Ryan, I would have wanted to get that Nightshade Dryad into play so I could start casting my blue spells, which he has three of them. Because he still has three dead cards in his hand. He's going to untap with three dead cards facing down a
Right.
Dread Mask
And yeah,
here.
this red mask coming down. There's that breaker of creation in his yard that he could buy
Uh,
back, but saying no,
yeah,
it's
Eldrazi
Spawn
Ravager. He's
Gang.
drawn Kozilek's Command here, which is
Okay.
castable. Um,
It definitely
he can get rid of the Germ and make tokens, I guess. Slow down the Dread Mask a bit.
like I've played against Dreadmask. It doesn't even feel good to get rid of the germ. There's equip it. It's like, oh, there's another colossal Dreadmon now.
Yeah, I mean, five is still a good portion of the opponent's turn, and if you can interact with it, you still have a shot. But he is going to get the Nightshade
Yeah.
Dryad, most importantly, down here. But really doesn't have anything else to do. I mean, like, he can cast the Kozilek's Command, but it's not going to be a high value play here.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think we're gonna see a null Joker come down from Dirk.
oof. Now we're talking. Yeah, this Kozilek's Command, I've never seen it do anything except exile something and make a few spawns. And that being said, I mean, if you can cast it as a removal, it's fine. But it's not a high impact card, honestly. For me, it's nice to
Yeah, it's
have,
not in the
but
right deck.
so hard to cast.
In the in the right deck, it's fine. I like it in the red green decks where I have those Chrysalis and Titan's Vanguard that the spawn actually become real threats.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's just kind of semi middling for the effect that it gives you and what it asks of you with the double colorless. All right, so we got
So
the amphibian downpour here. I think he's going to respond by exiling this.
it does suck that Ryan's Mana Dork is now going to be offline and he won't have a blue source.
Yep.
Unless he's going to choose to maybe try and scry a couple of cards to find one.
No, he's just going to do the thing that I always see being done, which is exile and make a couple of spawns.
Now we've got our Spawn Gang and Nightshade Dryad both turned off.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He could
Although I
he
guess
could
he
just
can.
sack the spawn to get back Eldrazi Ravager. Sack the
Yeah,
spawn
that's
gang, I mean.
true.
Yeah, okay.
Seems good.
But I mean, there's going to be a Death Touch Trampler coming very soon.
Yeah, and presumably Null Drifter next turn. I'm a little surprised he didn't
Yeah,
cast it
it's
this
it's
turn.
kind of wild that they put two commons in green that can just make a creature unbelievably large and give trample. Like the
Yeah,
Dreadmask and the Hydra. It just feels like the game
and
just
not only that,
ends. Like
but
sometimes, like they're just like, oh, and they're both common.
and they're both hard to deal with. It's like the Dread Mask can re-equip and fall off, and the Hydra, you kill the creature it's on, you still have to deal with the Hydra.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the power level we expect from a Modern Horizons type of set, but
Indeed.
I mean, when your opponent can just keep doing that. Oh, looks like he said, "I'm just going to cycle this." Well, okay. I need to find something better to do, and Twisted Riddle Keeper is unfortunately not going to get there due to his lack of blue mana. He can Ghostfire Slice the Nightshade Dryad if Dirk does decide to spend his mana trying to equip.
And he's hovering it. Looks like he's thinking about it. Yeah.
All right.
Equipping the spawn though.
Huh. Interesting.
He's thinking, if there's removal, I'd rather my spawn eat it than my dork.
Yeah, and Ryan's actually not going to kill the spawn. He's just going to take the damage here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's still okay. Now he's going to kill it. He can't cast his Riddle Keeper even for 8 here. No, he can't. All right.
Oh, if he didn't use that slice there, he would have had 8, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He would have still need to draw another mana source, right?
Well, he had 2 spawn.
Right. Okay. Yeah, he would have been able to, but yeah, it's getting down to the nitty gritty here. And if he draws another blue card, the game is just gonna be over. He did draw Skoa, so At least keep some board presence here. But
Not a bad draw.
yeah, it depends if is Dirk interacting in this coming turn or
It's possible he's holding a breathe your last,
yeah. So I think
so he can uh, get rid of a creature if he wants. I think he's just gonna play Null Drifter.
yeah, I think
I don't see.
Ryan wisely deciding to not try and triple block this creature.
Yeah, it's just asking to get blown out. Yep. So Null Drifter coming down.
Look at that.
What a great card.
I mean, I would like if it was higher than a 2 out of 5 on the Cloud Blazer Index, but I'm not complaining about the card. It's obviously great.
It feels like more than a 2 out of 5, you know?
It feels like it should be, yes, but it's not. I mean, the original Muldrifter is a 4, so I would say this is half as good by those metrics. And Tristan Riddlekeeper giving him a nice little reprieve here, maybe a chance to
Yep.
steal this game potentially, depending on what he draws next turn.
Unfortunately for Dirk, he's holding a lot of lands. He does have two removal spells in Breathe Your Last and Utter
Okay,
Insignificance.
so he's not going to die on this
No,
swing here. This he's
he'll be okay.
okay. There's a hope. The Hope Under Coatl is live now, I guess, but
Well, at this stage in the game, with Dirk having 10 mana, I find it very hard to find a situation where
oh
it will actually be counting something.
yeah, 100%.
I have to, the issue with the card too is like so many spawn running around. It's very hard to catch your opponent without 1 mana, you know?
I mean, there's like basically no margin of error here for Ryan because as soon as Dirk interacts, Ryan is going to be unable to have good blocks next turn. So
Yeah,
he
I mean
can't
even with
just all out attack. I don't think that's a really reasonable thing. He's thinking of playing the expressive iteration here to dig. He will get to see 3 cards and possibly play 2 of them.
um does Ryan have any interaction for the Snowdrifter?
I mean, he has Hope Ender Coatl that can block it. Is that if that
Oh,
counts?
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
close enough.
gives him a turn.
Yeah, but I think he might have to cast the expressive iteration here. 'Cause, I mean,
Oh, which would leave him without a resource.
yeah, the unfortunate thing about these, we'll say three and a half color mana bases with the Kozilek's command. Is sometimes you just don't hit it, and you have like so many blue cards in the whole game. Okay, so he's going to do a mini attack here. He's respecting the fact that Dirk is going to be likely to not take lethal. Oh no, he is just attacking all.
Okay, well, this insignificance gonna make Dirk live to see another day. Um,
But Ryan may not be living to see another day, unfortunately.
yeah, it's rough too because even if um Ryan flashes in that Coatl, Dirk still has the Breathe Your Last for it.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think there's any way around this. I mean, the brood
Unless he finds
scale you could put a counter on the brood scale and not die to trample while blocking the null drifter, but yeah, this is not looking hopeful here.
um yeah, Dirk. Okay, he's even drawn a petrifying meddler as
Yeah,
if he needed any more assurance that the
yeah,
game's
that's
over.
gonna seal the deal here. So looks
Ryan's
like
saying, take that.
Dirk is gonna be taking down his first feature match here. First victory in the feature matches here for week 1 in
First
MH3.
victory when I don't have any Thunderbucks on the line either. What's up with that?
Yeah, well, the pressure's off. Pressure's off. It's smooth sailing here for Dirk. So very impressive showing. Lots of good cards, lots of very strong interactions we saw in the first game, and looks like he doesn't even have to use the removal spell because the trample is going to kill Ryan.
Yep.
He might just use it just to be extra sure, but
Yeah.
yeah,
He's saying, whatever, get that thing off my board,
yeah,
just in case.
yeah. There's no such thing as too safe here when you're swinging for lethal. So congratulations to Dirk, taking down his first feature match victory here. And we'll be back in a little bit for our second match of the week.